Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Halo Forge Epidemic, one more time. We're going to be here, and I'm with Pokephile, and this is going to be Aihab Redux, made by Hi Im Berb, and this is actually going to be a remake of a map they had in Reach, and again, it's going to be linear style. So it's a really cool map, tons of fun. The zombies will spawn basically right on top of you up there, and I guess Pokephile, I'll hand it off to you, and you can talk a little bit about linear style maps.
Alright, cool. So I haven't actually seen a ton of linear maps in Halo 4. I mean, at the end of Halo Reach, there was a flood of linear maps there where everyone was pumping them out. It became very oversaturated. However, in Halo 4, it's a little bit more difficult to forge linear maps just because of the limitation of some of the blocks with that nasty spawn delay, where if you're standing near an object, it won't actually spawn. But from the looks of it, this map has nailed it on the head. They have managed to obviously overcome that obstacle and pulled off a very impressive flood map that plays very well with linear maps. And so it's nice to see it kind of transition into Halo 4 smoothly, at least when it does work with the avoiding that object glitch. But it's nice to see it again in Halo 4 because they're definitely a lot of fun to play on.
Yeah, and I think Berb did a good job on this one in terms of usually with linear style maps, the problem is it is linear, so the zombies will run at you. But this one, he does get the height advantage for the zombies, which does keep it from being a bit too, overpowered in that sense. And it does create a cool atmosphere in this one section here, where you have the zombies raining down on you, and you're kind of huddled against the wall in the corner.
Yeah, it's always smart to try to add a dynamic to your gameplay like that. Like, obviously, when you're designing a map, you don't want all of your zombie encounters to be from one point. And that goes a little bit more extensive than just saying coming from left door, right door. Like, it's good to throw verticality into the mix because that way humans are constantly looking up, looking down. Like, maybe zombies are jumping out of an air vent or maybe from a pit in the ground. It really adds, a mixed gameplay dynamic. It doesn't feel repetitive when it's happening like that. It's more challenging, but in a good way. So it's good to see stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's actually really hectic here when the whole group moves forward. You saw right there the gate opened up, which was a cool way to break the Dominion shields, and then you move forward, and of course that tank right there, you can't get in. But anyways, you move forward, and you can see here it's smart how he does it. The humans move forward, but they're moving downhill, which gives their pursuers an advantage. That's the zombies. And all the while here you have a frantic chase to the next holdout point. Zombies are right behind you, and it is a two-hit mechanism, but the gameplay is super intense, and I really think they pulled off the balance well in this.
It's always interesting, or just terrifying rather, when you're running with a group of humans and you're trying to get to a certain destination and all of a sudden your buddy next to you gets a flood sword in the neck and goes down on the ground and starts getting assassinated, and people are being, dropped left, right, front, and center, and you're just dashing to try to get there. So it pumps you with adrenaline, and this map really seems to do that quite a bit. So it's always, it's great to have stuff like that. It really makes, the gameplay a lot better on your maps, makes players feel more involved. It's just, it's really good to have that, and he's achieved that really well.
Yeah, and that's something inherent with the linear infection style maps. I mean, free roam is fine, and we usually in the lifespan of the Halo series, at least in the last two, we did see a lot of free roam at first, and then people start delving into linear style maps just because you are able to craft and experience a lot more, and you do have that, as Pokephile was talking about, that thing where you can create a mechanism where all the players are running to an area, they're being chased, and it just increases the intensity of it. And I think this is, the first step when, in terms of getting that to that point, at least in terms of forging for Halo 4, we're starting to see more and more maps that are linear in style and that pull it off really well. So hopefully this is just going to be the first in a series of many we're able to feature in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool too with linear because you can obviously tell a story, and so people are able to make entire campaigns, as you guys did with Origins back in Halo Reach. So it's nice to see that. I always love a strong story in linear, because sometimes people you've got the random linear maps, but then you've got these stories that people create, and sometimes they're actually really interesting. Like, you'll crash in maybe a big open field, and then you'll progress into a building, and from that building you might go into the sewers. And with linear, it's action packed. Like, there's no point where you're just kind of running around aimlessly. Like, you always know where the fight is, you're always gunning down a zombie, and it's just, you've got 3 or 4 minutes of just hectic chaos. So it's great to play that. I love it.
Yeah, and definitely I think Berb has done a good job with this. I don't think this is part of a larger series, although it is a remake, as I said, of the previous one. But I know there are some people working on a whole series. I think Umish is working on a series himself. So we'll try and keep track of all the forgers who have those, and we might even make a whole series ourselves. And over here, this is the end of the linear style map with the Schmeef that hung himself, essentially. So that's the holdout area, and it says thanks on it. So that was kind of a cool touch.
I love stuff like that. It's so funny. It's actually really hilarious.
It's kind of depressing when you make it to the end and you see the last guy hung himself. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll try and bring more infection maps to you guys in the future. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out our second channel. We have more content, Destiny news, modded content, all that stuff. So thanks, guys. We're peacing out. See ya.